Okay, here's a quick video on 6.2. That was titled Making Predictions. See that right there? And basically what we did in this section is we did three things. We talked about the concept of population, and that is a large group. Here you see three examples: the population of Sweden, large country, all the middle school students at ICS, we know that that's 257, and every employee wearing a tie to work around the world. That would be millions, okay? But it's not possible to ask the entire population sometimes. So what we have to do is we have to take a sample. And a sample is a smaller group, okay? Just talking about the most basic. Every fifth person in Sweden, okay? 25 students from each grade would be a sample. All those wearing a tie with a blue shirt, okay, that would be a sample as well. So when we talk about population, that's the larger group, and a sample is a smaller group that stands for that larger group. It sort of takes the place. It wouldn't be possible to ask the entire population of Sweden whether they have a toe ring, okay? But we could ask a smaller group of people that same question, and then we predict, based on that number, how many in the entire population. So if you remember, with this section, we did things like, okay, you've pulled a bunch of marbles out of a bag. So what's in the bag? What's in the original bag? So we used the concept of familiarity and how often things showed up to kind of base our final answer on proportions. Speaking of proportion, we have something called a representative sample, and that sample has the same proportion as the population it represents. Okay? So one of the things that you should have worked with in terms of your project is you should have considered the number of boys versus the number of girls. And many groups didn't think about this, but the size of the 8th grade compared to the 7th grade compared to the 6th grade. So not only do we have to worry about boys and girls, but we should also worry about the number in each grade. We could even go as far as to say the ethnic background, the religious background, whatever it is. So one of the things that I show over here is this is an example of a sample: 23 boys and 27 girls from the 6th grade. Well, here's the real numbers, okay? 33 and 41. So it's okay. 28 and 27, 44 and 41. 32 and 28, 52 and 46. What you'll notice is here I have a total of 50 boys and girls. Here I have a total of 55, and here I asked 60. So you'll notice that my number is increasing. So I needed to consider that information as well. Okay. So we've discussed those ideas. Now, one of the things to remember is they're going to ask you what sample is best. It's always best to pick the larger number, the one that's going to give you the most data. It's not possible to ask everybody, so that's not going to be something that they're going to offer. Because if they did, you would probably say no, because it's not realistic. Imagine asking the entire population of Sweden. Okay? So that's not going to work. So what we need to do is we need to decide which one is the best way to do it. So they're going to give you strategies, and you figure that out. Okay? That is basically 6.2. Okay? All of it. All three investigations. Okay? But basically from this section, you need to know how to pick up an appropriate sample, what that sample would be, how many. Remember, the smaller the number, the worse the prediction. Okay? Some of you did your project where you only asked 60 people. I think I got as low as 44, but I don't remember the exact number. That's going to be difficult if I ask you to make a prediction, which I completely forgot to remind you that you needed to do. So, my bad. I missed out. Okay? So, all of this stuff happened a few weeks ago, but you've been working on it little by little. So try and do your best as you get ready for this test. Go through the practice test that I gave you. And hopefully watching the videos might help again. Do the best you can, okay? All right, see ya.